Hello and welcome to the first episode of Herbal History. This video series will cover the history of different herbs used for medical or cultural purposes. But before we begin, I must give a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. This is not health advice at all. This is a history channel. If you have an illness, go to see a doctor. Take the knowledge you gain from this as historical knowledge, not medical knowledge. In this episode, we'll cover some historical uses for cucumin, a chemical found in the turmeric plant. We'll talk about some of its medicinal uses in ancient times, some modern uses of cucumin, and some ongoing clinical trials on its efficacy in certain disease treatments. So let's get started. Now on to the historical uses of cucumin. Cucumin is a polyphenol and the active ingredient in most herbal remedies that involve turmeric. It's been used extensively in traditional medicines found in China and India. It has also been used extensively in Asian cookery, medicine, and cosmetics, as well as fabric dyeing for more than 2,000 years. This spice later came to the Western world in the 14th century as a spice. This plant continues to be used in the Ayurvedic medicine style of India. A poultice of turmeric paste is often used to treat common eye infections, as well as to treat minor wounds, bites, burns, and acne, as well as various skin diseases. The American pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson even makes turmeric band-aids for the Indian market. A beverage made from turmeric paste, dried powder of ginger, as well as honey and hot milk, is given to women who have just given birth. It has also historically been used as a means to cure respiratory diseases when mixed with milk. It has also been used to treat dental diseases as well as digestive disorders, usually mild ones like indigestion or flatulence. It was also used to come down from a bad trip. Now on to the anti-inflammatory traits of cucumin. In terms of anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activities of cucumin, there have been several in vitro studies that have shown that this chemical causes an inhibition of histamine-producing chemicals. In vitro studies, by the way, are studies done using cell cultures in a petri dish. It has also shown to react with reactive oxygen species, which is a common form of free radical. In one study, rats were given an excess of reactive free radicals to induce a disease that's normally treated with antioxidants. In this case, the disorder in question is cyclophosphamide injury. Once fed with cucumin, there was an increase in antioxidants-based defense mechanisms within the rat's biology. This may serve to benefit people in future studies. There has also been shown, at least in some preliminary in vitro trials, that cucumin can actually be used in the treatment and prevention of cancer. This will be covered a little bit later. Cucumin has also been shown in vivo studies to make iron available in an organic form. This may be useful for making iron supplements in the future. Now on to the chemical structure of cucumin, its stability, its safety, and current clinical trials. But I again remind you, much of this is currently experimental and should not be used as medicine for the time being. If you have a serious illness, go see a doctor. In terms of safety, the bioavailability of cucumin is quite poor, but it does not seem to be toxic in animals or humans even at high doses. This combined with the fact that common curry powders or spice blends that have turmeric in it have cucumin levels between 1.06% and 5.7%, and pure turmeric is found to have 3.14% by weight of cucumin. But cucumin also exists in many forms that exhibit different traits. This renders the amount of active ingredient cucumin in different treatments unknown. Another reason why you shouldn't try to use this to treat a deadly disease until further testing is finished. Again, not a doctor. Go see a doctor if you have a deadly disease of some sort. Now let's talk about some trials using cucumin as a medicine. In a research site of the United States called MD Anderson, there's an ongoing trial for the use of cucumin with or without bioperine to treat melanoma. There are several other ongoing research trials combining chemotherapies with cucumin to improve cancer treatments. Most of these are happening in Israel or the United States. There are also trials going on to see if it can be used to prevent or reduce the chances of getting cancer. There's also a few trials, one ongoing and one cancelled, to see if cucumin can be used as part of a treatment plan for Alzheimer's disease. Now on to the possible side effects of use of cucumin. Now on to side effects. There have been rare cases where when cytochrome P450 and copper are found in the presence of cucumin, this causes the creation of an O-dimethylcucumin, which is a free radical, which has caused DNA damage in vitro. This damage is also accentuated by situations where the amount of copper in a system exceeds the amount of cucumin in a system, due to the chelation of copper by cucumin to create organic copper compound. Similar results have been found in vivo as well. DNA damage was found in rats with a 0.5% cucumin within their diet. As such, the possible medical benefits of cucumin should be tempered with further testing to make sure that the treatments will be safe. Well, that concludes this episode of Herbal History. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the flip side.